I would like to welcome to the stage the first representative of the second cohort, Bushra, a speech about morality.
What is morality? We've all heard of morality in our lives, but what is it really? Morality serves as a guiding force in our lives, influencing everything from small acts of kindness to our stances on complex social issues. A more technical definition is the principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong or good and bad behavior. But how do we define good and bad behavior? How do we determine when something is moral and when it is not? Sometimes morality is straightforward, helping someone in need, telling a truth, keeping a promise. But often it's more ambiguous. Is it moral to tell a harsh truth, or is it kinder to protect someone with a lie? Is standing up for your beliefs always moral, even if it offends others? These are not easy questions, and yet we face them in large and small ways every day. Sometimes morality is straightforward, helping someone in need, telling the truth, keeping a promise, but often it's more ambiguous. Is it moral? By the end of this speech, I hope you have a clearer understanding of your own definition of morality, not just as a concept, but as something living and evolving inside you. The boundaries of morality. Many individuals believe they are good, whether this belief is true or not, often as a means of self-reassurance. We assess our morality through thought experiments, such as the trolley dilemma. A runaway trolley is about to kill 5 people, but you can pull a lever to redirect it, saving 5 lives but causing 1 death. If you pull the lever, are you a murderer? If you don't, are you still a murderer? This scenario compels us to confront difficult questions about our moral responsibilities and the varying perspectives that influence our decisions. In truth, it doesn't have a right answer, only different justifications. This moral conundrum raises the question, is morality subjective? Different individuals may arrive at different conclusions based on their backgrounds, experiences, and values. For example, a person who values utilitarianism, doing the greatest good for the greatest number, might feel justified in pulling the lever. Meanwhile, someone who believes in the sanctity of life might refuse to act. The dilemma forces us to consider not only the consequences of our actions, but also the ethical frameworks we apply when making such decisions. It reveals that the same action can be viewed as moral or immoral, depending through the lens through which we examine it. And perhaps even more unsettling is this. If morality can vary so much from one person to another, can we ever truly agree on what is right? The influence of social norms on morality. Cultural norms profoundly shape our moral views. For instance, consider 2 hypothetical cultures. Culture A emphasizes independence and personal responsibility. People are expected to respect each other's choices and refrain from questioning personal decisions. In contrast, Culture B prioritizes community and helping one another actively. Here, failing to support someone in need is a serious moral failing. Let's imagine person A has made a significant personal decision and shares it with person B. In Culture A, person B might refrain from further questioning, respecting person A's autonomy. However, in Culture B, person B might feel compelled to probe deeper, worried that person A has not considered all the aspects of their choice. This divergence in reactions illustrates how societal beliefs shape our understanding of morality. Even laws and traditions are built on differing moral expectations. What's illegal or acceptable in one place might be condemned elsewhere. For instance, ideas around marriage, gender roles, and even honesty in certain social settings can differ dramatically from one culture to another. This illustrates how morality is influenced by cultural context and raises the question, what would morality be if it were unaffected by social norms? Is there such a thing as an objective morality? Or if everything we think of as good or bad is just a reflection of where and how we were raised? To truly explore whether morality is learned or inherent, we must consider ethical implications. The debate often intersects with the nature versus nurture discussion. Literature provides rich examples, such as Lord of the Flies, in which a group of schoolboys stranded on an island descends into chaos and savagery. The narrative suggests that morality is not an inherent trait, but rather a construct that must be cultivated and to maintain ethical behavior and societal cohesion. Psychological studies also show that even toddlers exhibit signs of moral judgment, offering help or concern when someone is upset. Does this mean some moral instincts are hardwired, or are these behaviors already learned by observing adults? While this perspective reflects the author's view, it prompts further inquiry. Would children from different cultures or with varying personalities arrive at the same moral conclusions? Would a child raised alone in isolation develop any sense of morality at all? It is evident that morality is shaped significantly by personal beliefs and cultural influences, yet this does not negate the possibility of a universal moral framework. Perhaps empathy, fairness, and the desire to avoid harm are part of that universal code. But how we act on these feelings may depend heavily on our environment. Throughout this speech, we have acknowledged that morality is a complex interplay of societal norms, cultural influences, and personal experiences. As we consider the definition of morality as merely the principles concerning the distinction between good and bad behavior, we must recognize its limitations. Would you pull the lever? Would you side with person A or person B? Would you remain sane stranded on an island with peers you barely know? But perhaps the most important question is this: what kind of person do you want to be when no one is watching? When there are no rules to follow or no consequences to fear, what moral code will guide you? I hope you now see your morality in a new light and can articulate your personal definition of what it means to be moral. The exploration of morality is not just an intellectual exercise. It is a deeply personal journey that shapes who we are and how we interact with the world. So next time you face a difficult choice, pause for a moment. Ask yourself this: what feels right? Not just according to others, but according to your own conscience. That may be the truest test of morality of all.